here in Skitty. This is Skitty, my cat. She will probably make an appearance. Also, my other cat is here too. But welcome, you guys. It's me, Carrie from Stretch Chi from my house. We are going to do live class today. So for those of you who are returning, my clients who have come to my classes before, I miss you guys. Oh, I miss you guys a lot. So feel free to chime in, say hi, put notes in the comments. For those of you who know how class goes, you can put a comment in just like you would in class. Like if you don't feel something in the right place, or if you're like, I need a different stretch for this or whatever, just put some sort of note in the comment. Now, you guys should know that there is about a 30-second delay on this, so I'm ahead of you time-wise. So if you do put a comment in, don't be surprised if I don't get to it right away. I'm going to see if I can keep an eye on it to make sure that that I'm getting all of your comments, okay? If you are new to Stretch Chi or to Ki-Hara resistance stretching, then you're probably going to want to check out the main video on my channel. It will actually tell you a little bit about the rules of Ki-Hara, but if you want to just dive right in quickly, the first rule is that you move all the time. The second rule is that you resist all the time. And the third rule, and this is most important, if anything doesn't feel good, stop right away. You can put a message in the comment, that'd be fine. You can also just skip the stretch. The way that I'm going to do this class today is we're going to actually do some stretches and then we'll come back and do those stretches again. So our first round will be kind of like a cleanup round, and the second round will be when you actually like make your gains in mobility. You may want some a cat. Cats are very helpful. You might also want some like towels. I would say like a couple like hand towel sized towels would be good for you for class today. If you have a yoga strap, that would be helpful too. Do not drink my coffee. Cats and coffee don't mix, you guys. Oh man, this quarantining is gonna it's like I was born for this. It's like cat lady heaven, right? All right, you gotta leave me alone. You do. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. If any of you guys have anything that you want to work on specifically in class, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'm going to try to keep this open on my phone so that I have the chat right here, and that way I'll know if there's something going on. Ah, let me turn that off. There we go. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to work a little bit today on our quads. I think that that seems to be the thing that wants to get work done. I swear she sleeps like 23 hours a day, and this is the only time she's awake. So grab your towel and put it up against the wall so that you have some good cushioning for your feet or for your knee. And you're going to bring your right leg up so that your knee is on the towel and your foot is flat against the wall. So you can see my foot is just turned so that the top of my foot is here. You can turn it so that your toes are on the wall so that it looks like this with your foot. Like your foot would be against the wall like that. That would be okay too. And then come up into a lunge so that one leg is in the front, one leg's in the back. And what you're going to do is push your back leg into the wall, and that's going to drive you forward. And then use your front leg to push you back. And you just go back and forth. Forward for strength and back for stretch. Now you're pushing your leg into the wall the whole time and pushing your front leg forward. So as you go back and forth, you're going to feel a stretch probably in your hip flexor in the front here. And then you're going to feel it through the front of your quad here. And that will give you your stretch as you come back towards the wall. So you're just going to go back and forth like that. If this is hard on your knees, you can skip this stretch. If this is too intense for you, pull your knee a little further away from the wall. That'll feel better for you. And now let's go ahead and switch sides. So bring your hands down, then this leg down, and then you're just going to use your other leg. So take your knee and drop it towards the wall so that your knee is on your towel. Your foot is flat against the wall. If you want to take your other towel and put it behind your foot, sometimes that feels better. It can also protect your wall because if your feet are a little dirty, You're gonna get footprints on your wall. It's the main problem in my studio, where like nail polish, you don't want to get that on your wall. So make sure that if your toenails are painted, you put something under your foot or wear a sock or something. You know what also works really well are wristbands, like John McEnroe wears, like the sweatbands for tennis players, works really, really well. So you can try that too. And now we're gonna come up into a lunge. So your back leg is gonna push into the wall, your front leg is gonna try to push forward, and you just go back and forth. Forward for strength, and back for stretch. And we're just gonna do like 5 or 6, you work at your own pace. Again, if it doesn't feel good, just don't do it, okay? So forward for strength, and back for stretch. Good. And so you should feel this stretch right along the front of your quad. Maybe in the front of your hip as you're coming forward. If you have any knee pain, if you're cramping at all, if your feet hurt, you can just stop, okay? Good, 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 good. Now the next stretch we're gonna go into is for your hamstring on the back now. I just need to fix something really quick. There we go. All right. Lay on your back and bring your right leg up and open to the side about 45 degrees, and then grab your heel with your right hand. You can also take one of your towels and wrap it around your foot. If you need a little extra care or you don't feel like grabbing your foot, either way is fine. Kick your heel down towards the midline of your body and then pull up for your stretch. So down for strength and up for stretch. Remember to resist and move the entire time. And again, we're going for about 5 or 6 stretches. And then we'll move to the next side. You should feel this on the inner part of your hamstring, right on the inner thighs. If you do not feel that, it's okay. Just skip this stretch and we'll come back to it later. All right, let's try the other side. I like to support my head with my hand. You're going to take your left hand and grab your left heel. My thumb is pointing down. And you're going to pull your heel down towards your body. And then use your arm to pull you up. So as I kick down, my hamstring is engaging and I'm trying to pull my heel towards my body, but my arm slows me down. Then you come up the other direction. Up for stretch and down for strength. Again, you should feel this on the inner part of your hamstring right here. And if you do not feel that, it's quite all right. Just don't do it. So up for strength and down for stretch. Very good, very good. Now come on up into a seated position. You're going to bring your feet together, kind of like if you were in a butterfly position. I have my feet about like 6 inches or so away from my body, but you can choose the distance that works the best for you. So feel free to have your feet open a little bit, feel free to have them in a little bit, whatever feels good. And then put your elbows on your knees. From here, you're going to squeeze in with your legs, so you're going to try to pull your legs together with your inner thighs. Your arms are going to try to push you open, so like sweeping out with my arms. So you'll push up for strength, and then push open for your stretch. And as I push open, I'm keeping my inner thighs engaged, but I'm pushing my arms out at the same time. So as I'm coming down here, if I let up my arm strength, my body would come right back to here. Okay, so you want to have that feeling of springiness between your arms and your legs. Oh, it's a good stretch. You should feel it on your inner thighs, like right here. If you feel anything in your outer hips or like in your hamstrings, if your knees hurt, just don't do this stretch. You skip it. We'll come back to it later. Up for strength and down for stretch. And let's do one more. Up for strength and down for stretch. Now we're going to go into a stretch for your lateral hamstring. This one goes to the outside hamstring here. To get this stretch, you have to actually turn your leg in like this. So you'll be on your back when we do this stretch, but notice how if I'm in this position, my knee's up, if I just let my knee turn in a little bit, That's the angle that you want to be at. And if you stretch in this position, your leg's actually going to go across your body at a diagonal, okay? So let's go ahead and lay on our back. This is another one that you could use your towel or your strap on if you find that you have not enough distance, you can't reach. So from here, kick your heel down to the side. You're going to snuggle your knee in close to your opposite arm and pull up. So I'm kicking down with my right leg and I'm pulling with my left arm. If you can reach your foot, you want to do it this way. You can take your left arm and grab the outside of your right foot, kick down towards the outside of your hip, and pull over your left shoulder. Kicking down for strength and up for stretch. If you feel a lot of pinching in the front here, in the front of your hip, then it just means that you have some other work to do. So you can skip the stretch or just move in a smaller range of motion, or make sure you're using the strap so that you can make this distance a little less. That would be okay too, all right? So down for strength and up for stretch. And then we'll do the other side. So take your right hand and grab the outside of your left foot, turn your knee in towards your right arm so your knee is kind of like touching your elbow on the inside. Kick down for strength and pull up for stretch. You're kicking down towards the outside of your left hip. Keep resisting with your muscles of your hamstrings while you pull up with your arm. Kicking down for strength and up for stretch. And again, you should feel this on the outer part of your hamstring. Could go all the way down your leg towards the outside. And if you don't feel that, it's okay. Just skip it and move on. Or work in a small range of motion. Like maybe working this much is just fine for you. That's okay. Work in a range that fits for your body. All right. Now that we've done those 4 stretches, we're going to go back and do a little bit more for our gains now. So what you're going to do is get your towel again. This one. So many things. And you're going to put it up against the wall so that we can do that quad stretch that we started with. Now let me help you walk into the stretch again, especially if you didn't understand it the first time through. You're going to get on all fours. So you're basically going to start like this. Take one foot and drop it against the wall like this, and then the other leg will come around to the front. So if you were looking at me sideways, it would look like this with your foot on the wall. Okay? Oh, that made my hamstring cramp. All right, now take your right leg and drop it against the wall, just like I was doing before. Your foot's flat here. If you need to put the towel under your foot, do that, especially if you're wearing toenail polish, because it'll get all over the wall. And then come up into a lunge. My front leg is out pretty far so that I'm not like over my knee's not over my foot, but my foot's actually further out than my knee. Then you're gonna push out in both directions. So I'm pushing my right leg into the wall, and I'm pushing my left leg into the floor and forward, like towards my computer, okay? So you're pushing in outward directions. Try to get your body as upright as possible. If this is too intense, just bring your knee further away from the wall. So you just slide your towel out a little bit, okay? If it's too hard on your foot, you can turn your foot under. So instead of being flat like this, it'll be more like you tuck your toes under, okay? All right, so now let's go into the stretch. Push forward for strength and back for stretch. This should feel better than it did the first time. Maybe a little more controlled, maybe a deeper stretch, maybe not so scary. You might not be as wobbly as you were the first time, so that would be good. If you like this stretch and you want to get a little bit more gain in it, then you can raise your hands up, sort of like if you were yawning. What this is going to do is it's going to activate and stretch the fascial line that runs all the way through your leg, through your abdomen, and even up into your face. Like this is a great one if you have jaw pain. Your TMJ, tight jaw through here. So you just reach towards the ceiling. Oh, you can kind of stretch in it. Kind of like when you wake up in the morning and you stretch. So pushing forward for strength, back for stretch, and you can get a nice, good fascial line stretch by reaching, jazz hands even, like just like raw, like reach for it. That should feel pretty good, and you might feel that go really deep up through your abdomen even. And let's do one more. Very nice. Okay, other side. So now take your left leg and drop it on your towel, your foot flat on the floor, and bring your other leg around to the front. And from here, you're going to push your leg into the wall while you use your front leg to push into the floor. So my back leg will actually propel me forward, and then my front leg propels me back. And you resist both ways the whole time, so you should feel a nice deep stretch through your quads. Forward for strength, and back for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Forward for strength, and back for stretch. And again, if you want a deeper stretch, you can raise your arms up and get that fascial stretch. If this is still too intense, you can bring your knee further away from the wall. So as you go into the stretch, if you want a deeper stretch, reach like you're taking a big yawn. Oh, stretch that sucker out. Feels good. If you're still having any pain or if this really bothers your knee, just don't do this stretch. It's okay, you can skip it. And come back to class another day and we'll do a different quad stretch, okay? Or you can always check out my other videos. I have tons of videos. I think there's like 50 now. And, oh, hey, I just got a comment from someone, and thank you for being here. I'm so happy. So happy you guys are here. So keep stretching, keep being here. It's so awesome. So that was our first quad stretch. Now let's go ahead into our stretch for our medial hamstring and see if we can get some more gains that way too. The best thing about being at home is that I get to drink my coffee out of a real coffee cup instead of my travel cup. I love it. Okay, so now lay on your back. Wrap the towel around your right foot and let your knee open up to the side, or grab your heel with your right hand. You're going to kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Down for strength and up for stretch. Awesome. You should feel this on the inner part of your hamstring. It'll probably feel a little better now than it did before. And for fascial stretch, feel free to push your heel into your hand and try to get your leg into more of a straight position. So here my leg is bent because I'm resisting because I'm trying to kick down. But if I want to stretch the fascia, I get to the end of the stretch and I just press my knee up, press my foot up towards the ceiling a little bit. It won't straighten out all the way, that's okay. You might notice a little bit of shake. I don't know if you can see it, I'm shaking a bit. That'll give you that fascial stretch. It feels a little more surface for the fascial stretch. So kick it down for strength and pull up for your stretch. Down for strength and up for stretch. And we'll just go back and forth just like that. This time I've got my left hand on my left heel. My thumb is pointing down. My knee is out to about a 45-degree angle. I'm resisting the whole time, so my heel is always trying to stay down. My arm is always trying to stay up. And if you want fascial stretching, you're going to lift your heel up towards the ceiling. It's like you're trying to press your heel up like this. So as you come into your stretch, press your heel up. You'll get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Of course, don't do anything that doesn't feel good. That's super important. Down for strength, and up for stretch. And now we're going to go into our groin stretch again. So go ahead and lay on your back. I'm sorry, sit up. Oh, coughing a little bit. It's because I choked on my coffee. I don't have coronavirus, as far as I know, right? All right. Put your elbows on your knees. Push up for strength and down for stretch. And you just go back and forth just like this. Should feel a little bit better now. Work in the range that feels good for you, and you can play around with where your feet are. So a little bit further out might feel like a different stretch. A little bit closer in might feel better. Just kind of do what feels good to you, okay? Up for strength and down for stretch. And again, you should feel the stretch in your inner thighs. And if you don't, it's okay. You just skip it. It's quite all right. We'll get it another day. Sometimes your body has some stretches that it needs to do first before something else will unlock. So if you're finding that like there's one stretch that's tricky for you and another one that's really easy, sometimes it's that really easy stretch that makes the difference. Okay? All right, so let's get back into our lateral hamstring. So you're gonna lay on your back. Bring your right leg up, bring your knee in close to your chest, and take your left hand over your shin, grab the outside of your right foot. You're going to turn your leg internal, so you're going to turn your knee in towards your left elbow. Your heel will come away from your body, and you can go down for strength, engaging the outer hamstring, and pull up for your stretch. This is a diagonal stretch from the right up to the left. Down for strength, and up for stretch. You should feel this on the outer part of your hamstring right through here. And if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, if you want to get into the fascia, then just lift your heel up. And that'll get a little bit of a deeper stretch in there for you. So as you come into the stretch, see how my knee's still bent because I'm still resisting, right? So it's still bent. That's my range of motion that still feels good. Then I'm going to push my heel just a little bit. It's almost like I'm trying to straighten my leg out. But I stop when the pain starts to get a little bit like, that's not good. Then I stop. So you just play around with what feels good to you. Don't go too far in this, okay? Then let's try the other side. So you'll take your right arm and grab the outside of your left foot. Turn your leg internal so that your knee hugs your right arm. Kick it down for strength and pull up for stretch. And so you kick it down and your arm pulls you into this stretch. Keeping your hamstring engaged the entire time. So you'll feel the outer part of your hamstring here. It could go all the way up through your calf too. It could go all the way up through here. We want the outer part of your leg. Then if you want a fascial stretch, go into the part of your stretch that feels good. And then try to reach your heel up towards the ceiling. So kicking down for strength. And a little bit of a reach there at the end. Good. Down for strength, up for stretch, and maybe fascia if it's what your body wants to do. Good. All right, my friends. Let's go into some stretches for your arms and see if we can loosen some things up here. See if we can get this cough out of my chest. All right. We're going to start off with the stretch from the back of your shoulders. Now, what you'll do in this one is bring your left leg up so that you're in a lunge, but this is a very square lunge. So my left leg is in front, my right leg is behind, my knee is bent at 90 degrees. I'm going to take my right arm. I'm also going to make that 90 degrees, and I'm going to cross it over top of my opposite leg. So it's my right arm over my left leg. Then I'm going to take my hand on my wrist here, and I'm going to resist by trying to pull both apart. So push open for strength, and then pull towards your hip for your stretch. So you open for your strength, and you pull for your stretch. You should feel this in the back of your shoulder, right back through here. It's usually a pretty good one. So open for strength, and close for stretch. If this one's tough for you, just skip it, and we'll come back to it later, okay? Now we'll do the other side. I'm going to show you this one from the front so you can kind of see how it looks from this angle. My right leg's in the front now, left leg's behind, and I'm going to take my left arm and cross over my right knee. Then I'm going to grab my wrist with my left hand. I'm sorry, this is my left hand, this is my right hand. You're going to resist between your wrist and your hand. Push open towards your computer for strength and pull towards your hip for your stretch. So you just go back and forth. Open and close. My elbow stays pretty locked in this position so that the rotation is happening from my shoulder here. So open for strength and close for stretch. And again, from this angle, it's your opposite arm, and you're pulling your hand towards your hip bone right here. So open and close. It's a really nice one. All right. Now we're going to do a stretch for our pecs. This one is a push-up. It's a little bit tricky, and if you have trouble with push-ups, you can do this one on the wall if you want. It's totally fine. I'm going to do it on the floor with my knees on the ground. Your arms are going to go really wide, so you're going to open up into a push-up like this. As you come towards the floor, that's when it stretches across the front of your chest. If you feel anything different, just stop doing this stretch. You don't need to do it, okay? So open your arms up. I have my hands on the outside of my mat, and then I'm going to very slowly drop towards the floor as far as my body wants to go, and then I'll push up for strength. We're going to do about 5 of these. And again, if this is too tough for you, it's okay. Just move in a smaller range, like maybe like to here, or do this on the wall. Totally fine. Good work. All right, now we're going to work on a stretch for the front of your shoulders here. This one is sort of like child's pose. What you're going to do is bring your arms really wide in a wide position like this, so that your hands are on the outside of your mat, like this. But my arms are like actually pretty wide, like in a wide position, so that my hands are on the floor, not on my mat. And you're going to pull with your arms like you're trying to pull your hands towards your knees. And as you do that, sit back. You can tuck your chin, and you should feel this in the front of your shoulders. Pull up with your arms, and then sit back for your stretch. If you feel anything different than this, then you can stop doing the stretch, and we'll come back to it, okay? So up for strength, and down for stretch. This stretch you should feel right in your armpits, like right through here. It's really nice. I think you'll really like this one once you really get it in. So we will we'll come back to this one after we've cleaned up some other things, and it'll be even better than before. Okay, our next stretch is for your neck and shoulders, and it kind of works in the same way. It's we're going to be in child's pose again, but you're going to have your hands in a different position. So instead of like this, you're going to bring them down in front of you like this, so that your elbows are bent and your hands are on the floor. So like, it'll look like this here, okay? Now from here, you're going to pull with your elbows towards your knees, but the mat will stop you, and that motion will pull you forward so that you almost tip over. And then you're going to use your legs to pull you back. So you just kind of shift your weight. Lean back and tuck your chin. And you should feel this in your back and your shoulders, maybe through your neck, through here. So you pull forward for strength and back for stretch. Tuck your chin. See if you can find some stretch through your neck and shoulders. And we just go back and forth. You can play around with the distance of where your arms are if you're having trouble finding the stretch. Maybe a little more forward would help, maybe a little more back would help. Maybe a little closer with your elbows or further apart. See what works for you. And let's do one more. Forward for strength, and then back for a stretch. Very good. Okay, now we're going to go back to the stretch we started with this group, which is the back of your shoulders. So you're going to go into a lunge with your left leg in the front, take your right arm and cross over, grab your wrist with your opposite hand, and try to pull both arms apart. So you'll push forward for your strength training move, and pull back for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Open and close. You should feel a little more stretch in the back of your shoulders. Hopefully that feels pretty good. My stretch feels deeper, like I feel it deeper in my back. Like I can feel it all the way down through here, which is lovely. Okay, let's try the other side. So I'm going to take my left arm over top. I'm going to grab my wrist with my right hand. I've got my right leg in the front here, and I'm going to push forward for strength and close it up for stretch. And you just go back and forth, open for strength and close for stretch. And again, you should feel this in the back of your shoulder. It should feel pretty good. And maybe into your back. If you want to even look over your right shoulder, you'll get a deeper stretch too. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to go into our push-up again. This one, again, is for the front of your shoulders. And we're aiming for about 10 total. We've already done about 5, so now we're looking for the next 5 stretches. You should feel this across the front here, not in the back. Again, if it doesn't feel good, just stop. You shouldn't feel any pain in your wrists. Shouldn't have any trouble with your elbows or your shoulders. Should feel really stable. If they don't, go ahead and do this on the wall or just skip it, okay? Being in pain is not important, right? It's not important. Okay, so let's go into our push-up position. Your arms are going to be wide, your elbows pointing out to the side, and very slowly drop down towards the floor and push back up. Your stretch is this slow motion down, and you should feel this pull across the front of your chest. And again. Ooh, and one more. Nice job. All right. I'm going to open the window because it's getting hot in here. It's getting pretty warm. That should help. Okay. All right. Now we're going to work a bit on our hip flexors in the front here. If you need a break, this would be a good time to take a break, get some water, get something to drink. If you need to open the window, do it. Some fresh air, it's very important. All right, and now we're going to go into a lunge with your right leg in the front and your left leg behind. And you're going to try to squeeze your legs in. So I'm going to pull with my right leg back while my left leg pulls forward. And so my right leg is going to pull me into the stretch, and my back leg is going to pull me back. And you just go back and forth here, nice and easy. Forward for strength, and back for your stretch. I've got it backwards. This is strength, this is stretch. Back and forth. We've got another cat. I only have 2, I promise. Don't drink the coffee. Oh my God, if cats drink coffee, I'd be in big trouble. And now we're going to switch sides. So your right leg is behind, your left leg's in the front, and you're going to try to squeeze your legs together. So use your front leg to pull you forward while your back leg fights, and then use your back leg to pull you back. You just go back and forth, just like that. Back for strength, and forward for stretch. Ooh. I missed my music from class. I wonder if YouTube would let me play music. I don't know. I don't know what the copyright is. I don't know if my license covers online. I'll have to find out because I do miss the music. All right, and let's go into a stretch for our hamstrings now. So you're going to lay on your back, wrap the strap around your right foot, and you're going to kick straight down for strength and pull up for your stretch. You want to keep resisting the whole time. So you're kicking down for strength and up for stretch, but if you slipped, your leg would fly down, your arms would fly up. So you kick down, engaging the hamstring, and while the hamstring's still engaged, kick up for your stretch. I mean, pull up for your stretch with your arm. Back and forth. All right, and let's go ahead and switch sides. So now your left foot will go in the towel or the rope or the strap. Kick down for strength and up for stretch. You want to stay engaged the whole time, so you're kicking your heel down towards your glutes the entire time, and your arm is pulling up the entire time. You should feel this right down the back of your leg, and if you don't feel that, feel free to stop, and we'll come back to it later. Down for strength and up for stretch. All right, and now we're going to move on to a stretch. Move it, sorry. We're going to move on to a stretch for your glutes. So you're going to come into a fetal position, laying on your side. Your knees will be up pretty high, your hips bent at 90 degrees, and your knees also at 90 degrees. So your feet aren't actually on your mat, but your feet are in front of your mat. Then put your hand on top of your knee, and you're going to push down with your hand. So you're trying to shove your knee towards the floor, and your leg, the entire thing, is going to kick up towards the ceiling. Then use your hand to push you back down. Up for strength and down for your stretch. And you just go back and forth like this. You should feel a good burn in your glute on the top. So your right hip up through here, you should feel that burn with this stretch. Hi, baby. She plays with twist ties. She just brought it to me. Okay, go get it. All right, and then the other side. So you can just roll over, you can flip over. Bring your knees up so that your hips are at 90 degrees and your knees are also at 90 degrees. Your feet will come forward. Put your left arm on top of your knee and push down for strength while you push up here with your left leg. That will give you a lot of shortening and tension through your glute. That's strength training. And as you push down, you'll stretch out your glute. It'll feel like a burn, but the muscle's getting long. As you come up this way, the muscle shortens, and on the way down, you're stretching. You just go back and forth. Up for strength, and down for stretch. I know, I see it. She'll be back in a second. All right, the next stretch we're going to do, we call this splits in the air. You'll lay on your back and bring your feet up towards the ceiling. It's okay if you can't straighten your legs out all the way, but you want to have your femurs perpendicular to the floor. And grab your knees with your hands on the inside. You'll squeeze your legs in while you try to open your arms up. So your legs are squeezing in and your arms just opening wide. So pull in for strength and open for stretch. And we just go back and forth just like that. In for strength and open for stretch. You should feel this on your inner thighs right here. And if you don't feel that, it's okay to skip it because we're going to come back to these stretches in a second. All right. And now it's time to go into our hip flexor stretch again. So we're going to come back up into a lunge. So I've got my right leg behind and my left leg in the front, and you're going to try to squeeze your legs together. Your front leg is going to try to pull back like this, while your back leg is going to try to pull forward. So you can see I have a little bit of a jump, like a, what's the word? Like it kind of jerks forward, okay? So you find that resistance pulling in with both legs, and then use your front leg to pull you into the lunge. You'll feel the stretch through the front of your hip right here, and then use your back leg to pull you back. So forward for strength, And back for your stretch. This stretch can be really fluid and wonderful, so you can kind of twist into it. You don't want to relax per se. You want to have a little bit of resistance all the time, but you can kind of like wiggle into the stretch in a way that feels good to you. You can raise your arms up if it feels good. You can twist and turn. You do whatever feels good to you, but you should feel this in your right hip here. All right, and now let's switch sides. So you'll bring your left leg to the front and your right, I just did that one. Your right leg to the front and your left leg back. And give me that. Okay. Okay. You're going to resist with your right leg trying to pull in and your left leg trying to pull forward. All right? So use your right leg to pull you into the stretch. Your left leg is resisting and you feel the stretch to the front of your hip. And then pull back with your left leg. There's kind of this curling motion, so you should feel like you're pulling into a ball and then you're using your front leg to pull you out of that motion. So it's like you're going into a concave, convex thing. So here I am convex, like curved, and here I'm curved up like I'm in a cave. You just go back and forth. And here's your stretch. Remember, you can wiggle and turn and twist in whatever way feels good to you. And then we'll move on into our next stretch. Okay? We're going to go into our hamstring stretch now. I'm going to show you a little bit of a different way to do this one. Before we did this with your leg bent and pull up, but let's go with a straight leg so we can get a little bit more stretch in here. You're going to push with your right leg into your hands and then use your hands to pull you into the stretch, but keep your legs straight the whole time. You could use a strap if you can't reach all the way. That's okay too. You should feel this all the way down the back of your leg. Now for this next one, come all the way deep into your stretch as far as you feel like you can go but still feel okay. And then start to very slowly turn your foot in clockwise and counterclockwise positions. So you just kind of spiral and you'll feel it wrap through your foot and through your calves. And then go the other direction. Oh, it's so good. This is great for plantar fasciitis or if you guys are having any calf issues. And let's do one more stretch. So push out for strength and pull in for your stretch. Her twist head is now under the desk. That's not good. Okay, so you're going to push out for strength and pull in for your stretch. This is my left leg now. I've just got my hands interlocked between my, like, behind my thigh. And you pull in for your stretch and push out for strength. Sorry. Hey, stop it. And then when you get to the end of this stretch, hold it here in a place that feels good, and then start to turn in clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever way feels good to start. Oh, and then the other direction. All right, let me appease her. What happened? Did you lose it? I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm going to find you another one. Here you go. Go get it. Okay. She's a kitten. I mean, she's not like a little kitten. She's really fat, but she's like 3 years old. She has a lot of energy, and then she sleeps all the time. All right, let's move into our glutes again. So, oh, we just lost the leg. That's okay. I think it looks good. We're going to go onto our sides. Bring your knees up and your feet forward, and then push with your hand down into your knees. So it's like you're pushing down towards the floor with your hand while your entire leg pushes up. And then down for stretch, up for strength. So you just go back and forth like this. Now we can add a fascial stretch in with this one too. That's how it works. Come up all the way. Keep pushing up. Use your hand to push you down. And at the same speed, try to reach your foot towards the camera or towards your computer, like straight in front of you. So you push down and straighten out. This is pretty intense. Let's do one more like that. All right. This is Kat's. She just scratched her head on the computer. There we go. Okay. And now the other side. So lay down on your side. I have my left leg facing up now. You're going to put your hand on top of your knees, your feet pretty forward, push up for strength, and down for stretch. And up for strength, and down for stretch. And if you want to add the fascial stretch in after you've done a couple, it's a good time. You can reach your heel forward. Woo. Ah, you'll really feel that one. And reach. Ooh, let's do one more. Up for strength and reach. All right, good job. Now we're going to go into a stretch for our inner thighs. This is the last one in this set. This one is our splits in the air. So you lay on your back. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling and grab your knees on the inside. Squeeze your legs together. Use your arms to pull you open. So open for strength and, closing for strength and opening for your stretch. In for strength and open for stretch. You should feel your inner thighs again. This one might feel even better than before. I hope so. Together for strength and open for stretch. Nice work. All right. Ready? Okay. Take a second to play with your dogs or cats. They're probably freaking out. They love it when we stretch. They go a little crazy, but I don't know why. Animals love when we stretch, and for some reason they think it's like playtime. It's wonderful. Okay, for this stretch, bring your hands together, thumbs right over your head, and you're going to pretend like you're trying to pop a balloon between your elbows. Open for strength and close for stretch. You should feel this right in the back of your shoulders. So you just go back and forth just like this. As you close your elbows, you'll feel the back of your shoulders back through here. If you don't feel that or if you feel any pain, you can just stop this stretch and wait until we come back and try it again later. Go. All right, and now we're going to work on a stretch for the front of your shoulders here. So we're going to go into a position sort of like, you're on hands and knees. It's sort of like if you're going to do cat-cow, okay? So if you think of like cat pose, speaking of cats, they're everywhere here, push up just a little bit with your back. Think of it like if you were at the base of a pyramid of cheerleaders and someone was going to stand on you right here. Then push with your hands towards the front of your mat. So you're pushing this way, but the mat will stop you. And your legs are going to try to push you forward like this. So your arms are pushing you like this, and your legs push you forward. So find that balance between the two. Now let your arms win. And as you push down, bring your head through. You should feel this in the front of your shoulders. It's very similar to the other one that we were doing earlier, but with this one, your hands are actually on your mat straight in front of you. So you'll end up in this position instead of this position. It'll grab a different muscle group, okay? So your hands in front, and you're gonna push with your hands to bring your head through and stretch out the front of your shoulders. And then use your legs to push you back forward, and your arms push you back. For those of you who have taken my class before, this is the same as downward dog, so feel free to do this on the wall or on your feet if it feels good to you. Otherwise, just stick to this one. Learn something new. As you bring your head through, you should feel the front of your armpits. If you don't feel that, you might need to bring your hands a little bit further forward on the mat, so there's a little more distance, maybe a little bit, reach a little further. If you feel anything in your back or the top of your shoulders, you can skip this stretch, and we'll come back to it later. strength, and back for stretch. All right, and now we're going to stretch out your lats. So bring your hands under your body again. Take your right hand and cross it over to the left corner of your mat. So I'm actually reaching to the opposite side. Now I'm going to resist, like I'm trying to pull my hand down towards my right knee, and then I'm going to sit back. As you're pulling with your right arm and sitting back, you'll activate your lats. Those are the muscles in the side of your torso. You should feel it right here. If you don't feel it there, it means that there's something else going on. So you can skip this stretch or just switch to the other side. Sorry. Stop it. So up for strength and down for stretch. And again, this is a nice one to wiggle in. So you can kind of wiggle your hips, you can kind of wiggle your fingers. It's a really nice stretch. Let's do one more. And now we'll switch sides. So bring your right arm in, take your left arm across your mat to the right corner. You're going to resist it. You're trying to pull your hand down towards your knees and then sit back for your stretch. Up for strength and down for your stretch. So you just go back and forth, pulling up for strength, down for stretch. You should feel it right through here, through the side of your body. And you just go up and down. Let's do one more. And then we'll work on the top of our shoulders. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So now bring your right arm in. I'll do this one so you can mirror me. Bring your right arm in and grab your wrist with the other hand. And then you're going to resist it. You're trying to pull both arms apart. So you'll push up for strength and down for stretch. When you get to the end here, bring your head to the opposite side. So up for strength and down for stretch. It kind of looks like it's already flipped on the camera. This is different and new for me. So maybe it is your left arm. So this one is my left arm, my right hand. So you push up for strength. My right hand is going to pull me down towards my hip. And then my head is going to go to the right. And you just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for stretch. And this way, I get a nice stretch right here through my left side. Up for strength and down for stretch. Sorry, I'll have to watch this back on YouTube later and see exactly how it's showing up. But it looks like it's actually, instead of mirroring me, it looks like it automatically reverses. So maybe, I don't know. I apologize for that. Let's bring your other arm in. So this is my right arm. Put your left hand on top here and resist it. You're pulling both arms apart. Push up towards the ceiling. This is a deltoid raise. And then pull down for your stretch. You should feel this in the top of your shoulder. And as you pull your head over to the left, you'll feel a stretch on the right side of your neck. So up for strength and down for stretch. And bring your head to the opposite side. Up for strength and down for stretch. Whew. I admit I'm a little low energy today. I think it's really warm in here. I think I'm going to have to turn the radiators off. Who knows? Maybe I just need to get outside a little bit today. It's possible. Okay, so now let's go back to our rotator cuff stretch and see if we can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. So bring your hands together. Bring your thumbs right over your head. I'm sitting on my knees, but you do not have to sit on your knees. You can do this however you want. And then from here, squeeze your elbows together and then try to open them up. So when you squeeze your elbows, it's like you're trying to pop a balloon between your arms. And then when you open up, that's your strength move. You should feel this in the back of your shoulders, like right back through here. So squeezing in for stretch and opening up for strength. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay, and then to our shoulders again, the front of our shoulders right through here. This is the one we were doing earlier, where you pretend like you're at the bottom of the pyramid of cheerleaders. So bring your hands right under your shoulders, maybe even a little bit forward if you want to. Push with your hands towards the front of your mat and push with your legs like you're trying to push you forward. So your arms actually push you back into the stretch. Bring your head through. And then use your legs to push you forward. Just until your head is right over your hands, and then you just come right back. So use your arms to push you back. And feel the stretch through your chest, and then use your legs to push you forward. You just go back and forward. Your arms win, and then your legs win. Let's do one more. All right, and from here, bring your right arm up across your mat to the left corner of your mat. Support your weight with your left hand if you need to. And then pull with your hand towards your right knee. As you do that, you're just going to sit back and go right into that stretch. And then use your right arm to pull you back up. And you just go back and forth. So sitting down for your stretch and pulling up for strength. Back and forth. When you get to the bottom of the stretch, hold it there for a second. Keep resisting and shimmy your hips just a little bit so that you can get a stretch in the fascial line as well. So you just shift your weight back and forth from your right knee to your left knee. You just kind of like wobble back and forth a little, and you'll feel that stretch reach around through your shoulder. Now, support your body with your right hand, and your left arm will come across to the right corner of your mat. Pull with that hand towards your left knee, and then sit back into the stretch. Then use your left arm to pull you back up, and use your body to sit back down. Up for strength, and down for stretch. And just go back and forth just like before. When you get to the bottom here, you can hold it and do a little wiggle to see if you can wrap that stretch around your fascia. You'll feel it all through your back and side. It's a really nice one. And then we'll go right back into the top of our shoulders. So bring your right arm into the side of your body. Grab your elbow with your grab your wrist with your opposite hand and try to pull your arms apart. Now lift up towards the ceiling like a deltoid raise. And then use your top arm to push you back down. And when you get down towards your hip, you can drag your head over to the left and get a stretch through the top of your neck and then through that shoulder on the right side. If you feel it on your left side, just do the other side. If you guys ever have problems with these stretches, feel free to reach out and ask me questions. I'm able to work with you one-on-one if you'd like that. I also have tons of videos for problem solving that you can do on your own time. So check out my channel, look at some of the playlists, see what you can find on there because there are a lot of resources for you. But feel free to ask me questions, you guys. I'm just sitting at home, so I have all the time in the world. Up for strength and down for stretch. And then we'll try the other side. So bring your left arm in, grab your wrist with your right hand, push up for strength, and down for stretch. And bring your head to the other side. So up for strength, and down for stretch, and bring your head to the right. Say hi to your cat. Hello. And then up for strength, and down for stretch. She loves this mat too. She always wants to scratch it. I have to fight her for it. These mats are too expensive for cat scratches. It is life though. Can't blame her. Everything in life is a toy, right, Sari? Right? Everything. Okay, my friends, we did it. We did all of our stretches twice. You should be feeling really good. Make sure to drink lots of water. If you are new to Ki-Hara, if this is your first time doing this, don't be surprised if you're a little sore. It's a pretty big strength training workout. It's actually just as effective as doing weights in the gym. So don't be surprised if you're a little sore. That's normal. The best thing to do if you're sore is to do the stretches again because it actually helps to take the soreness away. So if you feel that, just chime back in for the next class. Today's Wednesday, right? So tomorrow I'll have class at 7:30 a.m., no joke. That's Central Time, so feel free to chime in for that one. And also at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So check in for one or both, or tell your friends, whatever. Also, I just want to say, and this is not required, but this is a time when people like me are not able to make money and in my brick and mortar studio. So I put a link in the description below for my PayPal link. If you feel like you can contribute, like if you were taking this class live, most people pay like $15 for class. You could pay $1. That would be fine. You could pay $1 billion. I don't recommend. I mean, that'd be awesome. So yes, $1 million. Don't do that. And but if you have the ability to contribute, it helps me to keep bringing these classes to you live. It also helps me to keep my studio open when we are out of this lockdown. So I hope that you guys can help me out. If you cannot, that's quite all right. The best thing you can do is share this with your friends, invite them to join us live, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. All right? Also, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. This is all Central Standard Time. Okay? I'll see you guys next time. Have a good week. Oh, also one more thing. I am going to next week start filming my life renovations course and putting it on my YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, look at that little button in the corner that looks like an arrow. It looks like the little YouTube icon. Click on that, subscribe. That way you're going to get all of those videos too. Life Renovations is a really cool course that I put together years ago and kind of took a break from so that I could focus on some other things, but it's pretty amazing. It's a 5-part course about how to live your best life, finding your purpose, the purpose that only you are meant to do. And I think a lot of us right now are feeling that calling to figure out, like, what am I supposed to do with myself right now? What does my soul want? So Life Renovations will help you figure out how to feed your soul in the right way. There's a lesson. These lessons come from a book called The Master Key System that was written in the early 1900s by someone named Charles Haniel. So I've taken those courses and rewritten them in my own way. There's guided journaling for every week. There is a meditation for each week. Of course, we will stretch like crazy because that's part of me. And then also an anti-inflammatory diet challenge every week. So you don't have to actually do an anti-inflammatory diet. It's just kind of information to help you figure out how to do a more anti-inflammatory diet, which is actually very helpful for your immune system. So check it out, you guys. I think it would be really cool. I also have a Facebook community, Life Renovations by Carrie Collins. If you look at that Facebook group and follow that page, you'll also get all the information on there, and you can chime into the community there as well. Okay, so look for more things next week. This week I'm just going to rest and recover from many years of busy life and enjoy this time to myself. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.